Your week will be blessed, and all that you have planned for yourself will come, to pass for you. Well, it's a get more with SG Ghana season. Conveniently purchase a comprehensive insurance cover for your vehicle from SG Ghana and get up to 500 Ghana cedis worth of fuel. And this is for free. Once you get to register your vehicle there, get your comprehensive insurance from there, you get this free coupon for 500 cedis worth of fuel. Enjoy an extra mileage with SG Ghana's Sound Drive insurance product and get extra protection as well. It's simple. Visit any Societe Generale Ghana branch, or you can call 0302 214 314 to find out more. Now, the promotion runs from Tuesday the 3rd of January and it's going to end on Friday the 31st of March 2023. So hurry, hurry. But remember, terms and conditions apply. Societe Generale Ghana, the future indeed is you. So, Charlie, we all know say time's hard. But listen, still money day town. I'm telling you a fact, money day town. Now listen, with 590 mobile, you can make cash every day of the week from Monday through to Sunday. Today's a Monday. You can make some cash today as well. All you need is to dial *959#, choose the game of the week and select the game you want to play, ranging from Direct 1, Too Sure, PEM or Banker, and win some cash the same day. So like this Monday, you can win some cash today. Check out the live draws for your winning number on UTV every Monday to Saturday from 7:15 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. and on Sundays from 6 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. So what are you waiting for? Make that extra cash to sort your body and yourself out. Now, for any further inquiries of the 590 mobile game, kindly call the official Kit NLA customer service line on 0596 921 590 or visit the official Facebook page at Kate NLA Mobile. 590 Mobile at Dawonsem. And of course, there's some great news for those of you who watch television and love to enjoy some beautiful scenes on television, like Leo Stanley. There are some particular things he doesn't miss on television, especially when it comes to Big Brother. And aside from the Big Brother, there is this Big Brother Titans. It is the Titans that is on. Two African giants, Nigeria and South Africa, they come together in Biggie's house. Now, the show will stream live 24 hours on the pop-up channels 198 on DSTV and 129 on GoTV. Catch the day highlights at 9:30 p.m. and eviction shows at 7 p.m. on Sundays on Aquaba Magic DSTV channel 150 and GoTV 101. Dial *759# to stay connected and witness all the drama and excitement in the epic season of Big Brother Titans. I mean, Lucy, isn't it true? You enjoy watching, the Big Brother, over the past seasons, and you get to see, the bad things and all those things that go on in there.
What bad things?
Oh, the bad thing, the bad thing. Well, Ghana AIDS Commission says condomless sex is risky sex, and so therefore have this at the back of your mind that if it's not on, it's definitely not in. And let me tell you why you ought to take this message very seriously, because their health centers across the country continue to record new HIV infections. The 2021 HIV and AIDS estimates show that 16,938 new infections were recorded in that year. Now, this presupposes that people engage in risky behaviors, including having unprotected sex and abusing and injecting drugs. Sex may be fun, but HIV is not. Getting HIV from a few minutes of pleasure is not worth it. Be smart, wear a condom every time you want to have sex. It will protect you from sexually transmitted infections, including HIV. Now, if you inject drugs, please do not share your injecting equipment with anyone else. This message is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission working actively in partnership towards elimination of HIV/AIDS in Ghana. Now to our conversation for today, and it's some 20 minutes to 8 o'clock. And listen, many people are uncomfortable when it comes to payment of taxes. So you would realize that some of them try to avoid or evade the paying of taxes. That is something that is bad, because that is one source that governments rely on to bring development to a country. So as we gradually bring to an end, the Love FM Finance and Investment Clinic, we will today have a conversation with the boss for the GRA for the region, this Ashanti region. She is Mrs. Agnes Akusia Edubuating, and she is an assistant commissioner with the GRA. She joins us in the studios for this conversation. So, are you about starting a business? Because we've told you about starting a business. We've told you about how to manage your finances and go into investments and all that. Have you started a business already, or you are about to start your business? What tax issues would you want her to address for you? If you have any issue relating to taxation that you want her to address for you, feel free. Now, our WhatsApp number is 055-11-11995. That's our WhatsApp number. It's 055-11-11995. Send us your messages, send us your contributions, send us your questions, and get them addressed for you this very morning. We're also equally live on Facebook on LUV 99.5 FM. So join us on Facebook right now. Get to see her pretty face. One day you get to her office and you might need to see her and all that. So check her out on Facebook, LUV 99.5 FM. If you also have questions or contributions, you can drop them there as well. So how are you doing, madam?
By the grace of God, I'm good.
Good to have you for the very first time, in my studios. I've had some of your lieutenants, join me in the past. I'm glad that 2023, you have found time off your busy schedule to be with us in the studios. We don't toy with it at all. We're glad. But we know, like I said in my intro, that when it comes to taxation, that's what governments across the world use to bring about development and other things for their people. But unfortunately, in some instances, people evade it or avoid it. When it comes to the business community in Ashanti region, how would you describe their contribution to taxes? How well are they doing?
By the grace of God, we are improving. Hitherto, we're all over the place. Ashanti region is not performing, but gradually we are coming up. Yeah.
And I'm sure that continuous education and engagements with people, especially the business community, would help improve the situation.
Exactly, and that is exactly by your intervention we have started this year.
We started last year, actually, and we had Michael and Co join us for a conversation. We hope to do much more with you going forward. But the month of January here at Love 99.5, we've introduced what we call the Love FM Finance and Investment Clinic, where we're taking time to talk to people about how to manage their finances. We've also talked about how to invest, rightly, the proper way, and have encouraged a lot of people to start their own businesses. So, once you have other multiple streams of income coming through, you don't be hustling too much. Now, having had those conversations, we're crowning it all up tomorrow. We're ending the whole, conversation, the month-long conversation tomorrow. But we cannot end without having an engagement with you. Because if somebody has a business or is about to start a business, he or she would like to understand certain things, including taxation and all that. So once we have you, I would like to first of all ask you, when somebody wants to, register his company or his enterprise with the Ghana Revenue Authority, what are the basic things that the person needs to do?
Yeah, before I answer, I may want to take the opportunity to extend my best wishes to Otumfo Osiritu, and then to my father, the regional minister, Mr. Simon Osei Minsa, and his team, the mayor, and above all, to my cherished taxpayers. I pray for God's protection, I pray for strength, and I pray for a successful year in all their endeavors.
Let me say an amen to that, huh?
Yeah, so if you want to start a business, the first thing you have to do is, having gone to the Registrar General, even before you go, you have to visit a tax office. You have to go to find out, as a young businessman, about your tax obligation. So once you have started and you come, we'll just ask you to apply for registration for your business. And for registering your business, it's registered according to the tax type. So we have the VAT, which I'm going to dwell a lot on.
We'll talk about that. VAT.
And then we have the income tax, where you have to register. So do I start with the VAT?
No, we'll get there. Okay. We'll get there. Okay. But I want us to look at the registration of the business, either the enterprise or the company that the person wants to. What are the requirements? What are the documentations?
So if you want to register VAT, you have to visit a tax office. You have to put in application for registration. But you come along with your Registrar General certificate. If it's a limited liability company, you come with Form 3 that have the biodata of the company and the directors. You come with your Ghana Unique Identification Number for the individual and team for corporate entity. Then you start the process for VAT. Then for the direct tax, the same way. You come with your certificate of incorporation for the direct tax, unlike VAT, where it's just the Registrar General certificate for the direct. You come with certificate of incorporation, you come with the regulation, and then the Form 3. That still will give you the biodata of the company and you yourself. That is for the corporate entities. And then for the self-employed, for the direct, the Registrar General certificate, you come with Form A, and that one will also give you the biodata. And then we may need a lot of information about your directors. So when you come along with all of this, then we start with the registration process for you.
Is that the only documentation required, or the other documentation is required?
Yes, as for the registration proper for both direct and indirect, the information or document from the Registrar General will be the basis for our registration.
What if somebody does not go through this process? There are so many people out there who are running businesses and might not have, registered with the GRA, might not have done all that you're talking about. What happens?
Yes, for the indirect tax, that is the VAT, you need to come along with all this document. But for the direct, for the corporate entities, it is mandatory, especially when you want to even register as an NGO. We'll go further to request a certified certificate from the Ministry of Employment and Social Welfare. But for the self-employed or the individual, for the direct, for the directors, as you earn income, or once you earn income, you have to register. So when you come and you don't have the Registrar General certificate and the regulation and other things, we may register you, but we will educate you and impress upon you to go and register.
Okay, I get that bit, but I'm trying to ascertain from you, is it for every business?
Yes.
Because there are people who might be selling on tabletops or in a small kiosk somewhere who might think that, well, they're not part of this. Are they a part of this? Do they need to go through this process?
Yeah, so if you are selling, it depends on, then we come back to the indirectors, that is the VAT. The VAT is premised on meeting a threshold, annual threshold of 200,000 a year. If within a month, there's a lot of reason to believe that you can make the 200,000, the law allows us to register you. So for all you know, the person selling on the table shop, if that person is not selling a taxable product, and even if a taxable and it's not meeting the 200,000 for the VAT, that one, the law does not allow. Voluntarily, the person can come for registration. But for the direct tax, once you are earning an income, irrespective of where your business is sited, you have to walk to a tax office to register.
So what are some of the basic questions that one would have to answer, during that interview session?
Yes, for the direct tax, if you come as an authority, recognized one, we'll ask we've already mentioned about the Registrar General's documentation. We'll ask still of your name, your address, the type of business activity, if it's manufacturing, wholesaling, if you have branches, if you have warehouses, we are interested in all of this. Then we'll also request from you the name of your auditor, the Ghana Unique Identification Number of the auditor. Then we'll also request for GPS, which will give us the exact location of your business. Then when you come, we are interested in, for the limited liability companies, it's mandatory to request for their banks, whether you have a branch account, all of this, the name of your bank, you ask. And then if you have employees, we may want to ask, how many employees do you have? If you don't have employees, that is when you are an individual taxpayer, self-employed. Then we may assume you, the director, you are an employee, and therefore you have to pay the PAYE. But if you explain that you are not being paid from that particular entity, then we'll interview, probe you to find out whether you are working or earning income elsewhere, and you have been paying your tax, and that one will not mount pressure on you. But for the limited liability companies, we need your bank details, we need your auditors, the name of the auditing firm, their location, the number, your capital, we may want to find out what is the source of your capital. Is it savings? Is it loan? Is it support from family or friends? We may want to know your assets. Coming to register for the first time, we may want to know the type of asset that you have. And then we may also want to know where you get the supply of your good or your service. If you purchase from a source, we want to know all of these questions.
Does it also apply for people who are doing online business? Because trust me, there are a lot of people who are doing a business online. They're making lots of money, and they might not necessarily have come to the GRA to go through all this process of registration for the VAT and for those community you're talking about. Does it apply for those who are doing business online?
They currently, GRA is undergoing a lot of transformation. And under the transformation agenda, if you could be monitoring, we have gone ETCC, e-commerce, e-VAT, filing on the portal, the cashless. So we have the e-commerce team working seriously. The only thing left is for the act to be passed. So we have started.
Do you have an idea as to when the act will be passed?
I have no idea. The team is still working at it.
Okay. Yes. How about education? When they come to you, do you give them education as to, things that you expect them to do? Do you give any education?
Yes, very, very important. When you visit any tax office for registration, after you have gone through with the registration process, and Dave, if you would allow me, when you register for VAT, we issue you with a certificate, and it is free. If you registered for corporate entity, you have to pay 10 cedis for the certificate for limited liability company, and then 7.5 cedis for the self-employed. So when you come, all of this will educate you. We are interested in how you are going to keep your records, and these are basic records on your sales, on your purchases, on your expenses, your bank transactions. When it's very basic. Hitherto, we'll educate our taxpayers, especially for the VAT taxpayers, we'll educate them to have a VAT account that captures all your input for which you have paid VAT, and then it captures all your output for which you have charged VAT, which at the end of the month, the difference is what you pay to us. We will educate you, want to know whether you have a permanent and identifiable place of doing business. Dave, you agree with me that if we don't take and are not careful to educate them to get information, they registered, and the next few months, it's very difficult to locate them. So when we register you, we'll complete a form called VAS0. The VAS0 will capture your GPS address and the exact location, and then we'll even assign an officer to accompany you to the exact location of your business. Sometimes we even take photographs, then we file them. Then we'll educate you on the need to file your returns. Doing business with GRA without filing your returns, it will not work. You file your returns, the date. For instance, the VAT, you have to file the returns. Now we've gone high-tech. We have the taxpayer portal where we file our returns. The last working day, we'll educate you to file your returns. Then you have to make payment as well. If it's VAT, the last working day. If it is corporate tax, we are now started a new year. So for 2022, we are expecting the annual returns for CIT, for PIT, and then for PAYE, for directors, to be filed on the 30th of April, which is the first quarter, the last day of the first quarter. We educate you on all of this. We educate you when you have complaints. You have to get back to us. Even when you have started filing and there is an audit and you don't understand, the law allows you to object. So we need to educate you on all of this. We need to educate you if you need information, especially on the portal. If you need information, you go onto the portal. We'll educate you where you have to get or put in that.
It's not everybody who is, technologically inclined, who can go online, check out your portal and do the readings and do the necessary inputs and all that. How about those who may not necessarily be able to do that?
Dave, GRA has come of age. As I speak with you, we are always on the ground visiting our taxpayers, educating them, helping them to know how to use the portal. That is those who may have a bit of challenge. I don't know that most of them have engaged this accountant, these auditors, whom they pay to assist them. So we do a lot of education, and we have a compliance team who are always on the field, especially the informal sector, where we have most of our mothers, our sisters there. And sometimes I'll tell, anytime I get this opportunity, we don't have to underrate them. Once you can make a call, once you can make money transfer, you should be able to log on to the platform to do business with you.
For somebody who's about starting a business, a startup, for example, how important would you say that TIN registration is for such a person?
Without it, and you are replacing the TIN with a Ghana Unique Identification Number. So the first thing, when you come, if you don't have it, you have to go and register. It has become compulsory. It has become part of us. It is even not for GRA alone. All other business and all other activities will require of you to go for the Ghana Unique Identification, which is replacing the taxpayer identification number.
Well, this is Love in the Morning. It's on Love 99.5. Our guest this morning is the regional boss for the Ghana Revenue Authority, Mrs. Agnes Akuetteh Edu-Boateng. And we're talking about, your business and the taxes that you have to, comply with. Now, we all know that paying taxes sometimes is very uncomfortable for many people. So there are people who evade it or avoid it. Listen, if the long arm of the law catches up with you, you will not be in a very good place. So make sure that you comply. And we're saying to you that, listen, as a business startup, we're saying to you that as somebody who's a business owner, if you have any question about, paying taxes, if there's something you want, clarity that you want on any of them, send us your voice message to 055-1111-995, which of course is our WhatsApp number, or join us on Facebook on LUV 99.5 FM and get your answers and your issues addressed for you. All right, she's right here, and she'll be with us up until 8:30. But I can tell that VAT is very dear to you. Because in almost all that you've said, you've talked about the VAT registration. Let's talk about VAT. And I'll start by asking, who qualifies to register for VAT?
Any person who does a taxable activity. So a taxable activity is any activity that is not exempted by the VAT Act 870. Unless it is exempted by the VAT Act 870 and the exempt schedule 1 under the VAT Act. But once it is not exempted and it is a taxable activity, you have to register. For instance, if you're a manufacturer of goods, you have to register. Importer, you have to. Distributor, you have to. Wholesaler, you have to. Retailer, you have to. Then if you are rendering a service, a hotel, I sit in your comfortable space. You are rendering a service to me. You have to register. Of course, you have already registered. Then the professionals, the lawyers, the quantity surveyors, the architects, the promoters of public entertainment, the auctioneers, and what have you, artisans, masons.
Masons?
Yes. Once you meet, VAT is premised on a threshold. If within the year or 12 months or less, you should make a threshold of 200,000 compulsory. You have to register. You have to register when you are doing a taxable activity. So if you're amazing and within the month or 2 months, you can make.
How do you check this? I laughed along because you and I know that many of the artisans, the carpenters, the masons and all that, they do very good jobs, get very good money, but do not pay taxes. And you are here saying that they should even register for VAT and pay for VAT. How do you check that? How possible is that?
Yeah, if I use this example, the district assembly and the municipal assembly, if you're a mason and they engage you, without VAT invoice, they are not going to pay you. So we have ways of bringing all of these people on board. If you are registered, Dave, you are entitled to input tax. Joy FM, you have engaged an artisan, a mason to come and do it. You make sure the mason comes with a VAT invoice. So these are the way it means we try to.
But I'm sure that you have only a few people in this bracket. So let me move on and ask my next question then, because I would like for you to help us understand the VAT rates and their thresholds for business registration.
Okay.
Run us through it. I mean, the VAT rates that exist and the thresholds for the registration.
Okay, the threshold I've already mentioned, 1 year or less than 1 year, you make 200,000, you have to register. VAT is premised on two schemes. We have the flat rate scheme and then the standard rate scheme. The flat rate scheme, the rate is 3% plus additional 1% COVID-19 levy, making it 4%. That is for flat rate. The flat rate, if you are not a retailer, and I need to emphasize, if you are not a retailer, you cannot operate the flat rate. And if you are a retailer and you are operating the flat rate, then your threshold should be more than 200, but you cannot exceed 500. So the implication here is, if you are a flat rate taxpayer and you make more than 500, automatically you become a standard tax.
What if it's not standard? What if it fluctuates?
You have to keep your records. You have to be, I have told you, we educate you. You have any challenge, if all of this are happening to your company, write to inform us, update us, so that we know the direction you have to.
What direction would there be? Because, for example, if I'm doing between 200 and 500, 200 and 500, and then, let's say 200 and 400, 200 and 400, and within the year, I'm able to do some 200 to 500, 200 to 500, like once or twice. Where would you place me? Because I've done twice 500 already. Where would you place me?
We'll look at the average of your sales. If at the end of the year, you should be meeting the above 500.
I'm saying you met it once or twice.
Then you have to operate the flat rate.
So still within the flat rate.
But
of 2 to
in all
500.
of this, you file your returns, you keep your records, and from where we sit, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, or quarterly, we will be monitoring. We send our compliance team to visit you. They delve into all of this. They try to find out how you are doing. If there's any challenge, they will educate you. And if you are lucky and your file is also slated for audit, all of this will come on board. Yes. So, Dave, for the flat rate, which is 3% plus the COVID 1%, it is only for retailers. And your threshold, your turnover, that is annual turnover, should be above 200, but you cannot exceed 500. So the moment you exceed the 500, it means automatically you should be migrated to operate the standard tax rate. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so now we'll look at the standard, that is the VAT proper. The VAT proper, the rate is until 1st of January. December last year, it was 12.5. But with the revenue measure in the 2023 budget, 2.5 has been added. So effective 1st of January, as I saw down here, VAT rate is 15%. In addition, you have to charge 6% levy, National Health Insurance, Get Fund, and then the COVID-19, making it 6%. So what you have to do is, if you give me time in calculating, you put the 6% on your total sales, you pay the tax to us. Then you add it back to your total sales. Then you start with the VAT. And the VAT is premised on invoice credit system. The meaning is, when you buy as a taxable taxpayer, you pay VAT, and that is your input tax. When you sell, you charge VAT, and that is your output tax. So the difference between the input tax and the output tax is what is paid as VAT. You only pay 15 when you don't have input tax. But Dave, I may want to say, as they make bulk purchases, sometimes 3 months they are in credit. You say anytime your output tax, that's VAT on your purchases, it's more than VAT on your output, you are in credit. And for 3-4 months, we have to send a team to authenticate, to verify. So the VAT that is paid is between the VAT on your purchases, VAT on your sale. The difference is what you pay. You don't pay when your VAT on your purchases is more than your VAT on your sales. But for the straighters, you have to pay. You can be in credit as, but the straighters, you have to pay.
Which one is the straight tax? Is it the 15? The 15?
levy.
The levy is there.
The levies are the straighters.
Okay, so you mentioned that before it was 4.5. Now, per the budget that was read is
that's
2.5.
VAT.
Hasn't added. So it's now 15. Then you also mentioned some 6%, which of course is the levies and all that. Is that aside from the 15?
You charge the 6%. You pay
Separately?
Yes.
From the 15?
Exactly.
Is it not to suggest that we pay more than 15% then?
But that's the law, Dave. You pay the 15. That is the difference between your purchases, VAT on your purchases, and your VAT on your sales. It could be 1 cedi, but you have to charge the 6%, and you pay to us. That is the law.
Well, let's not say if you're a business owner, you have more questions on this, feel free and ask, because then to me, from where I sit as a layman, my calculation tells me that then it's to some extent more than the 15%.
You add the 6.
Yes, it's more than 15%.
Yes.
So let's say 21% then.
Yeah, the 15% sticks when you don't have input tax, VAT on your purchases to collect. Yeah. But Dave, I need to also mention here that VAT is a consumption tax.
Yes, it is, yeah.
You buy this beautiful shirt, you pay the tax. I wear this jacket.
Beautiful jacket, you pay the tax.
I pay the tax. The taxpayer who is doing a taxable activity is registered to collect the tax as an agent to the Commissioner General or to the government. So once we register you, Dave, you are being registered as an agent to collect the tax. You, the taxpayer, you will only pay the tax when you have consumed the product. If you haven't, all that you have to do is, when I come and buy, issue the VAT to me by issuing a VAT invoice to me. Okay, Dave, you go to buy, you go to the hotel to chill. All that you have to do, the hotelier has to do is to issue the hotel invoice to you, charging the VAT. Everybody, all of them are entitled to input tax. So at the end of the month, the difference between the input and the output, it's what they pay to us. So
are we to open the phone lines now? I'm told that there are people who have begun calling already, and they have questions, for you. And so, listen, you can either decide to send us a WhatsApp message, be it a typed message or a voice message. We'll take it. It's 05511119995, or you can call us now on 03220-83596. We're talking about your business. We're talking about starting your business and the tax requirements of you. Let's go to the phone lines right now. And like I said, you can call us now on 03220-83596. 03220-83597 and 03220-83598. Call us now. Let's hear you. Ramadan, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, boss. So welcome. What's your contribution, sir? What's your question?
Yeah, my contribution is that the VAT that your resource person or your panelist is talking about. When you buy something and you are going to charge VAT on it, you calculate the 6%, then you add it to the cost before you charge the 15% on it. In fact, that portion, I don't understand it.
Well, I hear you. So she will give you a response, or maybe she would expatiate more for you to understand, because like I mentioned a while ago, it means that we're paying 21%, but she says depending if you have not taken the first one already. So she will explain herself. She's right here. She's noted your question down, Ramadan. Thank you very much. Enes, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm well, sir. And your question or contribution is?
Yeah, a quick question. So if, for example, I'm a young guy, right, and then I want to start a business, is there any tax exemptions for we who want to enter that sector?
All right. So you want to know whether there are tax reliefs or exemptions if you want to enter into business? Well, Ernest will be addressing your question shortly. Thanks very much for passing through. Erasmus.
Yeah, David.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, David.
Question is?
David, I want to ask Madam. Madam, how many times is a taxpayer or somebody who wants a tax relief supposed to apply for the relief within the year?
How many times can you apply for a tax relief? Well, that question will be answered shortly. Erasmus, thank you very much. 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. Ramadan is back on the line, I'm told. Hi, Ramadan, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. And I'm saying that the tax collectors, there are a lot of people who go around doing good business. They don't pay tax. And the few who are paying, they continue to be on them, be on their neck every day. You see, there are masons, painters, other people, they go and charge them the storage body and take about 4,000 cedis without paying any tax. When you go to magazine, the mechanics working, they are making very good money. They don't charge them. But when you are on the government pay or you are on the regulated industry or institution, they will be on you every day. And those people, the cocoa sellers, watches sellers at the roadside are making very good money. They don't charge them anything.
I think you joined us a bit late. You asked that question anyway as to how they were monitoring that, because when she mentioned masons, but her answer at the time was that, listen, if you go do some work in the assemblies and all that, you need that certificate to qualify you to be able to get paid. Let's pick one more call. We answered the questions and then we'll go back to the phone lines. And I have Davis on the line. Davis, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, the question I want to ask Madam is this. Let's assume I buy goods from someone or from a company, and the company issue a VAT of 15% to me. And if I'm also selling to someone, what percentage do I have to charge? That's my question. And second to that, let's assume my threshold is more than maybe the 500,000. Is there any difference in it? And I wanted to know from Madam.
Are you good with the second question? So if you're above the 500,000, what happens? That's what he's asking.
Okay.
So what we'll do now is to get responses for those of you who have called now. Once we are done with that, we'll get back to the phone lines or to our WhatsApp console. So, Madam, over to you now. Ramadan was the very first person who called. He came in twice, actually.
Okay, so I will start by taking the last question.
Okay,
If
Davis.
you are a retailer and your threshold is more than 500,000, automatically go to your tax office, inform them,
You're put
you
on
will
the
be
standard.
migrated, and then you are put on the standard. And I'm happy he's asked this question because not long ago, most of the retailers who have 500,000 above were migrated to operate the standard. As I sit down here, if you know you are still operating the flat rate scheme and your threshold is more than 500, go to your tax office for the manager to migrate you. If you don't do it, the implication is when auditors are coming to audit you, they are going to start effectively from the date that you were to have been migrated and you didn't. And you know the tax implication.
Yeah, but that is why I also asked that question, that, and I know you answered that question anyway, that if you're below 500, you're not on the standard.
Yes.
But when you get to the 500 and above, then you're placed on the standard.
And that is only for retailers.
For retailers. But I was also asking that, what if it was a one-off or a two-off or a three-off? Within a whole year, you only crossed the 500 threshold once or twice. What happens?
Yeah, so Dave, if...
Or you still be below, you'll be on the regular, not the standard.
You'll be on the regular, but it will be confirmed when we are doing auditing. If our team or compliance checks, if they come and then they put your figures together and consistently you are meeting the 500, if they have to put you on the standard, they will advise.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
they
hear
will
you.
advise.
Yes.
Yeah. Then somebody asks of the tax reliefs. And I asked you this morning, have you gone to GRA to apply for
A tax relief.
your tax relief?
And you asked whether my parents are with me.
Your
you asked
parents
whether I
are
have
with
children.
you. If you have children,
and if
you
I'm
are married.
married.
Yes. So all these relief are there for all of us. So by this time or end of last year, the first thing is to go to the tax office to apply for the tax relief form. It will be given to you. You complete it. Then you send it back. Your employer will sign. If you are not on the controller, for controller, it will go to Accra. But if you are a businessman in Kumasi or Ashanti region or area, complete the form. It will be endorsed by the office manager. He gives the form to you. You go and give it to your employer.
Can it be done online?
Yeah, for now.
Or you don't necessarily have to come to the GRA office to pick up a form?
We are still upgrading the system. For now, no.
Okay.
For
so you
now.
have to come to the GRA's office and pick up a form and do the filling.
And pick the form. Okay.
It's for free, huh?
It's for free.
Okay.
Everything is free,
It's not everything
because we are engaging you.
Okay, I hear
especially
you.
the taxpayer.
So take go to their offices, pick up a form, fill up the form, answer the questions, get it signed, and get some tax reliefs as well.
Exactly.
I would have wanted to ask that question later.
Yeah.
But what if there's a struggling business or somebody just started a business? And we know about reliefs, and a lot of people do not take advantage of them. So somebody's listening to us the whole of this month of January has started a small business. But I will tell you, it looks as if GRA is not sympathetic. GRA is always on your neck to pay the tax and all that. Somebody just started a business in Tintimi, or has started a business, is struggling. Are there reliefs for that individual?
For the personal reliefs, if you just started a business, it's an annual thing. It is annual. You must have worked throughout the year. So those who started last year, January, December, they are qualified to apply for the relief. But if you have now started that one, you have to work throughout the year before you can go to the GRA office for the form. If you have any challenge, go to your tax office, and then the manager will be there to support you.
So what you're saying is that there's relief even for small businesses or struggling businesses.
Exactly.
There are reliefs for them.
Yeah.
So if your business is struggling or you just started your business, go to the GRA, engage with them. You would have tax reliefs.
Exactly.
So you don't say that they're wicked people and they're collapsing your business.
Exactly. And then the tax reliefs, I have to mention, we have the marriage and the responsibility, and that one you are entitled to 1,002 annual. We have the child education for a recognized educational institution. Then you are entitled to 3 children, and that one is 600 for the for the year. Then we have the aged dependent, and that one is 1,000. Then old age is 1,500. And then as you sit down here, if Joy may want to train you as a professional, and you have to undertake professional program or vocational program, you are entitled to 2,000.
Wow.
And then for the disabled, it is 25% on your accessible income. Yes.
You know, we'll make time. And then during the year, talk about these tax reliefs for individuals.
Exactly.
I think it's a whole conversation on its own.
Fantastic.
Because one thing I like, for example, to know is if I file for my children, can my wife also file for the children?
No, if the two of you are working, only one person is entitled.
So we'll find time to delve into
it's a
that.
topic of itself.
Yes, we'll find time to talk about it.
Let me take the young entrepreneur who has started and then may want to do business with GRA. The SIT schedule has been amended. And in that amendment, if you are a young entrepreneur and you are into the following business activity, you are into business of manufacturing, you are entitled to tax relief, waste management, energy, information, technology. If you are into creative tourism and creative arts, horticulture, agro-business, all of these are the areas you are entitled to the 5 years tax relief or exemption. But Dave, you are to pay 1% on your chargeable annual. If you are 35 years and above, you are not entitled to. If you are 35 and below, you can't go to any of or your tax office to ask for more information. What it stands there for is if a company is cited by a young entrepreneur at Tema in Accra, after the 5 years, you have to pay 15%. But if it is cited in Ashanti region proper, it is 12.5. But if Ashanti region, you move to Obuasi or Mampong, you have to pay only, that's after the 5 years, 12%. If you want to relocate to the north, so flexible, 5% after the 5 years. So the young gentleman who asked me, these are the incentive for a young entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there was somebody who wanted some clarity on the calculation, 15%,
Yes.
6%.
Yes, that is where my interest is.
Okay.
Yes, so the law is saying the VAT standard, the rate is 15%. Then in addition, you charge levy, National Health Insurance levy 2.5%, Get Fund levy 2.5%, and then 1% COVID-19, making it 6%. So when you are deriving your VAT, the first thing is, if you made sales of 100,000, put the 6%, which are the levies on, and then go and pay it straight. There's a form, a return that you have to complete, and then you file on the portal. When you are done with this, you are going down. Now, how do we manage the proper VAT? You have already paid 6%. We are now talking about the proper VAT. The proper VAT is premised on the invoice credit system. And I will continue to say, you buy or you bought goods, you paid VAT. You sold goods, you charge VAT. The difference is what is going to be paid in addition to the 6% status. So, assuming I bought some goods, 100,000, then I made some input tax. I paid input tax of maybe 10 cedis. I sold the same goods. I added my margin expenses to it. Then I sold, added the 15, other inclusive or exclusive to it. Then I charge 11 cedis VAT. What you have to do is you subtract the 10, the VAT on your purchases.
From where you bought it from the one you're selling.
And it's 1 cedi. You come and pay. In addition to the street.
But then again, depending on the business the person is running, there's a probability the person is paying more than 15% VAT.
The law says 15%.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
But there's a probability of you paying more than 15% because of the other levies that you mentioned.
Exactly.
So it's not necessarily 15%. It could be more than 15%.
No. For us, as we are the technocrats, and the law is saying the 6% is levy. And then the VAT proper, the standard rate VAT is 15%.
But it's all part of it, isn't it? It's all part of it.
The framework of the laws, that is how it stands.
We hear you.
Yes.
So at this point in time, let's go into our voice console. Take some. I'm told we have a question that has come in by being typed, and some voice messages as well. So let's read the message first. Lewis Stanley, if you can quickly get that message. So
okay, this one says, good morning. It says, what actually goes into the calculation of the tax one has to pay? Does the size of the container or shop count? How often must one pay? Its name is OT MTI Kwadaso.
Okay, so I think it's about the threshold, the
20,000
to the 500,000.
And I think, David, you should be, when I leave your studio, you continue to do this education for me.
But then you pay me at the end of every month.
Yes, we'll see what we can do. I will talk to Commissioner General and Commissioner DTLD. It's high time we engage most of you to support us. Dave, this question is.
So come and buy airtime and let's do more engagements. Let's do LPMs. Bring jingles that has information on it. Let's play the jingles on radio.
Yes, so we've started a year.
Beautiful.
We are just coming from board retreat. We are going to go for the domestic tax revenue retreat. When we are back, all the strategic initiatives will start operating. Dave, the question that the gentleman about the threshold, you see, this night economy business, night market is growing.
It's grown, actually.
And it's grown. I may want to take this opportunity because this is the direction GRA is going to go, going forward. Anybody, once you are dealing in a taxable activity, I've already explained what a taxable activity is. You are selling, you are rendering a service. Come to the nearest tax office, pick a form, because very soon, with the assistance of the security personnel, we should be out there in the night to monitor all of this. You see, tax payment is very difficult, but without taxes, the business of the government cannot be run. For you, yours is you do your part. I will do my part.
And government has to do its part.
Exactly.
Having taken my money, use it prudentially. Use it to do prudent things. That will benefit me. So when I'm paying, that's not for you actually, but it's for people out there.
Exactly. So for me, my cherished taxpayers, I need them. and I need their support. And I need everybody who is doing business here in Ashanti region.
Okay, so we have some voice messages as well. Let's quickly run through them. All right, so the response is?
Yeah, I've already handled the young
Yes,
entrepreneur.
you have.
It depends on the type of business you may want to engage in. If you want to sell, he could have explained further. If you want to sell kotobeton, retailing, that one, the tax rate and issues are what. If I want to go to agriculture, the tax holidays are there. So what I may want to educate him is he should go to Bonho is under Swami. You should go to the tax holidays for if you want to go into cocoa, if you want to go into animal rearing, all the tax holidays are there. Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but something just hit my mind. When you're a startup business or somebody who has employed graduates or fresh graduates, you have some reliefs as well, don't you?
Yeah. For now, apart from the young entrepreneur, for the fresh graduates.
When a business owner employs people, doesn't he enjoy some?
The reliefs are there.
Okay, the reliefs are there as well. All right, so another voice message? His concern is on service charges.
Yes, they charge. But for us as tax officials, we work within the confines of the law.
What they are charging.
So what they are charging, we are interested because they will go as far as to even charge the tourism levy. They will charge the tourism.
Is it allowed?
It is allowed. It is allowed.
Okay.
But for us as tax officials, we are interested in the VAT for Royal Park. This is straightforward VAT collection. 50% plus the levy. They take their input and they pay us. Yeah.
I hear you. Lou, you say you had a question?
Yes, about the about the threshold. Like, I mean, if you are coming to register a business, I've been there through it, and they ask you what your capital is and all those questions. But my problem is sometimes, setting up a business is just an idea that you want to get registered before you even venture into any business. So when I come and then you ask me what my capital is and all that, somebody with an idea with no penny, attached to it, but I want to get it registered so that if, there's a chance I do my business, how do I?
Yes, so for the directors, when you come, we may want to interview you and get a lot of information. But once you don't have capital, you are yet to start. You are not liable to tax. Even though you might complete the form, you are not liable to tax at that time, so you'll not be made to pay. Okay. But for VAT, we have several forms of registration. So you have the idea, you want to start, you come to the tax office, then we'll register you, but we will put you on intended registration. You have the intent to do business, and therefore we have registered you. And then the only challenge is, once we've registered you for VAT, if you didn't do any work or service, you have to file nil return. So we'll give you additional job. You have not started a business, you are not paying. But for VAT, you have to continually pay. File nil. If you fail to file, the system will generate penalty of 500 cedis anytime you fail to file the return and on time.
Okay.
Any additional day. So the intended registration is there for the indirect taxpayer. And then for the direct, you may need your TCC. You about to start, you don't have capital, you don't have anything, then we'll complete the form. But when we are issuing, or you go to the platform to request for this, you are not liable to pay tax.
Okay.
And it's straightforward.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Agnes Akuetteh Edu Boateng, for your time. She is an assistant tax commissioner. She is the regional boss for the GRA. Thanks for spending part of your morning with us. We know you have a meeting to attend to, so we'll let you leave us. But before you do, well, tomorrow we're wrapping up on our business and finance and investment clinic. We're going to have a round table where we're going to have series of presentations from people who were part, or some people who were part of the whole event. So, for example, Priscilla Sewa JC, who's a project and grants manager with Kumasi Hive, she'll be talking to us about accessing grants for your startup business, the needed nuggets. We'll have Ivan Sununu talk to us about the Kumasi business ecosystem, how to penetrate and sustain your business. We'll have, for example, Ajua Fosuya Ofori, and she will talk to us about women and business. How can women grow and expand their business in 2023? We'll have Professor Abdulaziz Idrisu, who will talk to us about the debt restructuring, programming, and economic uncertainties, how we should plan our finances in 2023. And it goes on and on and on and on. That's for tomorrow. But you want to have a final word, please?
Yes, Dave, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And then to my cherished taxpayers, I may want to use the opportunity also to thank them for their contribution, the zeal with which they worked and charged and then earned and paid the taxes. This year is also another difficult year. We are still trusting and believing God for his intervention. We are praying for them. But today is 30th of January. Tomorrow is 31st. Tomorrow is the last filing date for VAT on the portal. So I'm just reminding them. We'll send the reminder notices to them. They should take advantage. But then, anybody who is owing corporate tax, self-employed, emanating from last year or the previous period, we need a revenue.
Okay.
Please go to your tax office or pay on the portal. If PAYE, you have gap, there's some months that you didn't file and pay. Please, we are entreating all of you. So for the VAT, please, to my taxpayers, we have started distributing VAT invoice stickers. If you don't have it at your shop, it should be displayed conspicuously, a location where your certificate, so that when the view enter the shop, you know that this man or woman or taxpayer is patriotic taxpayer.
Okay.
And then when they serve, they should try as much as possible and issue the VAT invoice. If you know the patronage level at your shop, you have a lot of people walking in and therefore you cannot write the VAT invoice, the dispensation is there for you to apply to your office manager. You can't be on the retail scheme, or if you have gone high-tech and you may want to generate your own invoice, then you have to apply to your tax office. But your own invoice, you have the features of the Commissioner General's invoice. There shouldn't be any disparity. So all of those dispensations are there. We are entreating them. Issue the VAT invoice. Please, do what you can. We have the Lord supporting us. And with God on our side, all of us will say it through. I thank them and wish them a happy year.
Well, thank you very much. Well said. We've got another interview coming up your way around 9:30. It will be with Zest Consult. But we're getting ready to cross over to